Okay, so let me share my screen. So if I go to Friday and okay, so let's just remind ourselves. I made a copy of this. This is just an overview of your roller coaster, and we've done mostly a lot of things that are on our to-do list. So you're going to be designing obviously your roller coaster, right? It has to be 18 inches tall at least, 4 wide curves, 1 sharp curve, 1 funnel. Okay, an ending piece to catch your marbles. Your cardboard has to be 13 by 13. Be able to move as a single object, okay? Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to do the brainstorming part, okay? We already did the research. Number 3 we already did. And today we're going to be working on number 2. So if I go back to our modules, brainstorm your roller coaster. So brainstorm. Sketch your roller coaster in your engineering notebook. Label the following components. Be sure to label the following items. So you got to make sure I can see where these are happening. You're gonna create a roller coaster. So you're gonna create a roller coaster that is at least 18 inches tall, has 4 wide curves, 1 sharp curve, so a wide curve and then a sharp quick turn. It has a funnel and an ending place. You're going to be sketching this out in your engineering notebook. At the same time, you're going to be labeling in your design where the greatest potential energy is coming from, the greatest kinetic energy is coming from, a place where G-force is greater than 1, a place where G-force is less than 1, a place where acceleration is occurring, a place where deceleration is occurring. Deceleration is when you have a lot of friction. I was reading an article about G-forces. If you sneeze, you you feel G-force greater than 1. If you sneeze, if you cough, the same thing. If someone has ever hit you behind the head, they have caused you to feel a G-force greater than 1. Can you believe that? So even though on your discussion post you've said, I've never experienced G-forces greater than 1, I'm pretty sure you have, because I'm pretty sure you've sneezed or coughed before. I'm not sure if someone's hit you over the head with it,
I've
but
never in my life.
never in your life. Okay. Um, okay, what I want to show you is what your project is gonna, well, so your project is gonna look something like this, but obviously a lot smaller. These are like the funnels, these are like the curves and whatnot. So I'm gonna show you guys a video of someone who created this paper roller coaster, but to the extreme, to the extreme. They probably spent all summer doing this. So I do not expect this from you, but this is gonna give you a good idea of your roller coaster via paper. Okay, so I'm gonna play this. Let me zoom it in. So you're gonna be doing this obviously at a smaller size, but literally you're gonna be using the same type of paper that they're using. You can get some ideas while we watch this video. Again, yours is not gonna be this tall, but they're using the same pieces I gave you.
My brain hurts already.
That's it. That's all you guys have to do. Okay? You guys ready? Set, go.
No, I'm not ready. That's too much.
Now, honestly, like that was obviously like
Long.
way too elaborate and long, right? All I'm asking you guys to do is a minimum of 18 inches. So the shortest one you can do is at 18 inches, which is 1.5 feet. So like about this tall. So it's not, I I think you're gonna have to go higher than that. Um, so I think we're gonna go into our engineering notebooks. We're gonna write down the constraints. I think it's easier if we like write down the constraints just so that they're like plain and simple. You see them, they're like no question about what our constraints are. So I'm gonna move my mouse pad over. So I'm gonna work in my engineering notebook. This is page 26. Page 26. So the criteria. Gee, I wonder if I have to write this down. The answer is yes. Yes, you have to do. Okay, so it has to be number one, a minimum of 18 inches tall. Okay, this will be 18 inches tall. Number two, a minimum of 4 wide curves. You guys got these papers back in like, I think like October, September. Each of these papers, somewhere on them tells you what they are. So here it says wide curve. So you're going to be using a minimum of 4 wide curves. So I'm going to write the word green here because they're the green paper. Now there's also a different curve with the other green paper. So be mindful. So on the top, it does say what it is. So green. Okay. Number 3, minimum of 1 sharp curve. Let me see what color the sharp curves are. Oh. So the sharp curve, see there it says sharp curve. The sharp curve is also green. Okay, the sharp curve is also green, but be careful, like they do look different. When you really look at them, sharp curve has this, what is this, 1, 2, 3, a hexagon. It has a bigger hexagon than the wide curve, okay? So you see the difference between the sharp curve and the wide curve, okay? So make sure you understand the difference. They're both green, but they are different, okay? So you're gonna need a minimum of one sharp curve. If you look at the green paper, I gave you more than what you need, just in case like the first time you mess up, you have another one. Or if you want to add more than what the minimum is, you're more than welcome to do that, okay? And then a minimum of one funnel. And if you looked at the video we just saw together, the number one thing that slows the marble down are the funnels, right? And you want your marble to stay in your roller coaster for a longer period of time. So funnels are good. So your funnels are yellow, and they're really easy to spot. It's called the funnel, right? I gave you more than one funnel. So this, when we cut it out, will create a funnel. Okay, so I'm gonna write yellow because it's the yellow paper. So it's easier. Okay, you have to have an ending place for the marble or marbles, if you have more than one. Yes, you have to copy this down. Let me see the chat. Hold on, this is not working. Yes, write this down. This is like, you write this down so you have it with you. Like, it's on Canvas, but I have a feeling like you'll forget to look at it when you're building. So if it's in your notebook, you have it. So your roller coaster must have a minimum of 18 inches, minimum of 4 wide curves, which are your green papers, minimum of 1 sharp curve, which is also your green paper, but they're different, minimum of 1 funnel, an ending place for your marbles. So you have to like figure out what can you catch your marbles with, okay? Number 6, the base is about 13 by 13, which you're going to need like an Amazon box for, or a Costco, Sam's Club. Maybe like if you have a cereal box, that's like 2 or 3, like make it sturdy. You want to make it sturdy. You want to make sure you can move it. Okay. It's
How about a shoebox?
as long as when it's flat, it's 13 by 13.
Okay.
Okay, that you're able to move it. So like you can take it from like your dining room to your living room to your bedroom. So, or you know, some where it's movable. Okay, you're not allowed to tape it down to the desk or wherever you're working. Okay, so and you're basically going to time it, and then you're going to tell me the time. You're going to videotape it, and then I'm going to see how long the marble is in the roller coaster, and that's part of your grade. Part of your grade is how long can you keep your marble up and going through everything. Okay. So the base is 13 by 13. The box that you're going to get, it has to be 13. So the base, the floor has to be 13 by 13. And then going up, the height is 18 inches. Tall is 18 inches. Okay. Now, if I look, hold on, bring this over. So when you sketch, when you brainstorm, I need you to show, so when you brainstorm, I need you to show me where is the potential energy. Where is the kinetic energy? Now, obviously you guys are not going to have like you're not going to start your marble going up a hill, right? Because you're already going to be at the top of the hill. So it's a little different than our traditional roller coasters where they start you on the ground and then they move you up. You're already going to be starting at the top. So it's a little different. Where is the G-force greater than 1? Where is the G-force, right, less than 1? Number 5, I want to know where is there acceleration. And number 6, I want to know where is deceleration. Deceleration. Okay, and where am I getting this information from? I'm literally getting it from your Canvas assignment. So literally, I just recopied this into my engineering notebook. The first part I copied was from this assignment, right? Which you have access to. So basically, these are the constraints that we have to do to have our roller coaster. And then this is what I'm asking you to do right now today. So what I want you to do is, okay, taking all of this, let me go back to my camera. Taking all of this into consideration, you're going to be sketching what you think right now your roller coaster is going to look like. Now, it could change once you start building it. You'll be like, this is not a good place for the funnel, or this is not a good place for the tunnel. So I gave you a funnel. I gave you curves, sharp turns. The pink paper is called a straight track. It's just the marble goes straight. The white ones, they're called beams. Those are what's going to make your roller coaster support your roller coaster. Your beams are like columns. Okay, your beams are like columns. Then I gave you a loop. So if you want to try to include a loop, I gave you the ability. I gave you the paper. It's the blue paper. Those are called your loops. Okay. This is like your base columns. What else did I give you? I gave you a lot of columns, wide curves, sharp curves. Okay, so the only thing extra I really gave you was a loop. So if you guys can pull off a loop, awesome. Maybe a little tricky, but it's totally doable. Okay, so knowing that you have a funnel, sharp turns, curves, sharp curves, wide curves. If you want to do a loop, a funnel, some straight tracks. Okay, knowing that you have to do 18 inches tall, 4 wide curves, 1 sharp curve, 1 funnel, and an ending place. I want you to sketch out right now. What do you think your roller coaster is going to look like? Obviously, the starting point will be on the top, right? You're all going to start with the marble on the top, going down this roller coaster, and then at the bottom, you'll figure out a way to catch your marbles. As you saw in the video, that very extreme paper coaster. Hopefully you got some ideas like, oh, look, I see how they're using the funnel. I see how they're using the straight track. I think their colors are the same colors we're using. Their funnel is a different color, but their straight tracks are pink as well. So that matches what we've been doing. The beams were also white in their video. Let me show you again. I'm not going to show you the whole video, but let's see if I can capture. So that would probably be like a wide turn. There's your funnel. Those are your straights. That's your loop, right? A wide curve that they did a little bit different. So those are, oops, I hate how it does that. Those are your beams. The white ones are the ones that go vertical and horizontal to support everything. There's the funnel. All right. Okay. So right now I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes, maybe like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I would like you to turn the page and sketch here what your roller coaster is going to look like. Now, is this set in stone? Like, oh my gosh, whatever I draw here, I have to do? No, because engineers always like modify and change their ideas. Once they test something out and they go like, oh, this didn't work, or this did work. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Once we start really getting into it, you might change your design. But right now, let's see if you can create a roller coaster. Let's pretend like the whole page is 18 inches. So here's your starting point. What are you going to do next? Right after your starting point, what do you think would be a good thing to use? After you draw it, after you sketch it out, go back and label where's the potential energy, where's the kinetic energy, where do you think there's going to be a g-force greater than 1? Where do you think there's going to be a g-force less than 1? Where is there a point where there's acceleration and deceleration? So I'm not sure if you're going to turn this in today, but when you do turn it in, when I say, you know what, I have given you enough time to do this and I feel like you're ready, when you turn it in, what I'm going to be grading is your overall sketch. That's like, you know, okay, you try to sketch something cool. I'm going to grade, did he or she label the potential energy, the kinetic energy? Did they find a place where the g-force is greater than 1, less than 1? Did they label acceleration and deceleration? Okay. Does everybody understand what their first assignment for today is? Yes, first assignment, because we're going to do something else later on. I apologize for it being so, let's see if I can make it a little bit darker. No. Is that, nope. Huh. Oh, here? Nope. Okay, I was trying to like have less. All right. All right. So everybody right now, you're going to be sketching your roller coaster. I'm going to sketch it on page 28. If you have your engineering notebook, use it. If you don't, use a piece of paper. But remember this criteria. Okay. And I'm literally going to do it with you. Okay. Go ahead and begin. Okay. So the next activity we're going to do is requires us to have a ruler, pair of scissors, a regular pen, just a regular pen, not the gel type, not fancy liquidy type, just a regular ballpoint pen. Okay. And we're going to start off with the white paper that says
Excuse me, Miss Lomelli.
beam. Yes,
Is it okay if where are you recording it?
I will, but it won't be up until like way past due dates.
Oh. Okay.
So grab your stuff. So you're going to need the one that says the beam. I hate my lighting here. The beam, scissors, rulers, pen. Go find that. I'll give you guys a couple minutes. Like I've been warning you since last week. You're going to need this. You're going to need this. You're going to need this. Today's the
What
day.
colored pen?
Excuse me?
What colored pen?
It doesn't matter. You're going to literally mess it up. So you're going to use the pen to trace really hard. So I wouldn't use like your favorite pen. I would use a really cheapy pen because you're probably going to like mess up the tip and you're probably going to run out of ink. Like we're not writing with it. We're like using it to trace. We did this with the skimmer. Oh, and you know what? We're going to use our engineering notebook as a cushion so we don't scratch the furniture that we're using, because we're going to go pretty like back and forth pretty deep. So you don't want to scratch your furniture. Use your notebook as a cushion. All right. So do we all have our materials that we need? Doesn't matter what color. You're basically using it to trace, to make nice clean edges. Okay. So in Canvas, I just made it live. At the very bottom, basically it's the cutting the roller coaster pieces. So it's this like 14-page document that shows you how to cut the pieces out, step-by-step instructions for building an incredible roller coaster, right? And it shows you with pictures how to cut and fold these. So if you want to work ahead of me, I'm literally going to be using this to help guide me. So it shows you how to do like the straight track, the columns, shows you how to do curves, how to do funnels, things like that. So it teaches you step by step how to cut and tape and glue this, because if you cut it the wrong way, it's not going to work. And then at the end, you end up with this beautiful, beautiful roller coaster. Not really, but it does show you. Again, it's in your modules all the way at the bottom. If you refresh, it's there. It's basically this big paper roller coaster, step-by-step instructions. Now, that's if you want to work ahead of me. A couple of things I'm going to point out to you from this one. This right here, super important. This information right here. Why? Because it tells you what to cut, what to fold. So if you see the heavy dotted lines, those are to trace, then fold. Heavy dotted lines are to trace and fold. Dark, black, solid lines are to cut, okay? Dashed lines like this, thin dotted lines, cut or fold if needed. So if you need to fold it, if you need to cut it, yes, you can. So here's like your key. If they're dark, solid lines, you trace them and then fold. If they're dark, heavy lines, those you cut, okay? Take a screenshot of that if like you're gonna like forget in 2 seconds. I'm gonna forget in 2 seconds. Okay, so we're gonna start off by doing the easiest one in my opinion, which is your beam. Okay, so take your white one. Now, you guys see the heavy dotted ones? Those we do not cut. Do you see down the center? There's a black line. That's the one we're gonna cut. So this is gonna be our first one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it in half on the black solid line. Now here, you've just created 2 beams. Now, the dark dotted lines, those are for, I'll remind myself, not that one, not that one, this window. Dark, heavy dotted lines you trace and fold. And you see this guy right here, he's tracing with the ruler and a standard pen. So figure 1, I'm gonna basically do that. I'm going to take my regular standard pen and my ruler and my engineering notebook as my cushion. And I'm going to apply great pressure as I'm going back and forth on each dotted, heavy dotted line on my beam. Now, I've already run out of ink. All I'm doing right now is just creasing it, right? There's no more ink coming out of the pen, which is not good because it is one of my favorite pens. So I'm going to trace these. I think they're 5 lines. 1, 2, 4 lines. So you go back and forth, tracing it. What you're doing is you're creating a crease.
Can we use a pencil to crease?
Try it, see how it works. There's a reason why I said pen. Okay, if you feel the back, you feel the crease, you feel the indentation that you just created with the pen. I'm not looking to draw a line. I'm looking for creases. Okay, so if you use a marker, it's not going to work at all. It's not going to crease it. Now, this has to turn into a rectangular prism, basically a rectangle, like a box. Okay, so I'm going to fold up. Now, you see how easily it folds because you creased it? If you don't crease it, it's not going to fold perfectly. We learned this with the skimmer. And I'm going to keep folding up. And keep folding. Next line. And the last one. Just like so. And I'm going to put it together. And you will be overlapping. So So you create, basically, see it here? Let me see if I turn off my lights, if that's better. Oh, that's a lot better, huh? Yeah, okay. So I creased it, then I fold it, and this is what it creates. Okay, it creates a rectangle. Okay, these are what you call your beams. So this is what goes like up. It's a support. Okay, it's like when, have you ever guys seen a house being built, and before it has walls, it just has like all this like wood, the lumber. It's like those are the beams, those are the support. So here it is. What you do, either you can put a piece of tape or you can glue, put some glue right here, fold it over, and you created your first beam. So you can put some tape or some glue, right? This one would be perfect for glue here, just, and then you kind of hold it, pinch it together so it would stay. So this is your first piece, which is a beam. Okay. Right now I'm teaching you how to just cut and put together a couple of your staple things that you're going to be using to build your roller coaster. All right. Are we okay with the beam? We're just doing one right now. Again, I'm not going to walk you through all of them. I mean, I'm not going to like, okay, let's do 4 more beams. That you can do on Tuesday. But right now we're just learning how to cut one out and putting one together. On Tuesday, you'll have more time to cut all of them out if you would like. Okay. And then here it says cut to length desire. So if you want to make it shorter beam, not as tall, like you don't have to use the whole height, right? You can cut it in half or whatnot. I wouldn't cut it until you start putting your pieces kind of together once you have everything cut out. All right, the next one I'm going to show you, walk you through, is called your straight track. So go ahead and grab your straight track. And I'm going to cut the solid black line. So I'm just going to cut one out. Okay, there's a bunch in here. So I'm going to cut one out just to show you. The dark dotted lines, those are what we're going to trace with our ruler on top of our engineering notebook so you don't mess up the furniture. Back and forth. Okay, and with your straight track, you just fold over. If it doesn't fold easily, trace it back again. Mine did not fold as easily as I wanted it to, so go back in there, apply more pressure, especially on the corners and the edges, I should say. Make sure it's a straight line. I kind of went off a little. All right. Let's see if that was a little bit better. So well. So all you do is you're going to fold these up. And basically this is like a little tunnel for your marble to go through. Okay, so this is what you call a straight track. I'm going to start my marble course, my roller coaster, with a straight track. So on the very top, I have this, and then the marble is going to go shooting down this tunnel. So this is my first one. If you want to make it shorter, you can as well. So this is how you do the straight track. Okay, so we have built a straight track, right? We build a beam. So basically, if I were to construct this like right now, I would be putting like these two, and I would put some tape or some glue. Tape is going to be your best friend. See if you guys can get some tape this weekend. Tape this down, and if I need it at an angle, I can connect this at an angle, and then it would be looking like this. So this is my support beam, like a column, and then I can glue this going down. Okay. This is a loop. Okay, you guys want to try doing the curve? I'm a little nervous about the curve. All right. So a wide curve. Okay, that's so find your wide curve, and there's 4 wide curves in here. So the black solid line is where I'm going to cut. The black solid line. Okay, there it is. I know that dotted lines are traced, so I'm going to trace it. And I'm going to trace this side. Okay. Let me go back and read the directions carefully. Okay, place a strip of paper flat, bend the uncut wall up the strip upward and bring the other section together so that they just touch. Okay, rectangular shapes furthest from the uncut edge should overlap slightly. Oh, not there yet. Here. Tracing. Fold along the dotted line to make a sharp crease, keeping the lines on the inside. Cut out the shaded shapes completely by cutting along the thick, solid lines. Be sure that the cuts reach the dotted lines or curving the paper will be difficult. Okay. So I'm going to fold. Fold like this. And I'm going to cut the shaded part out. I'm going to cut the shaded part out. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Cut the shaded part out. Cut the shaded part out. I'm cutting out the shaded parts, going along the dark lines. All right, so cut it out. I'm going to fold the top part. Make sure you clean up after yourselves. Don't make a mess. I'm going to fold this. So now I have this. All right, and this is also folded. Go back to the directions. Again, I shared these directions with you, so we're all in the same boat. Okay. Okay. How do I do this? Okay, so place a strip of paper on a flat surface. Bend the uncut wall of the strip upwards and bring the other sections together so that they just touch each other. The rectangular shapes furthest from the uncut edge should overlap slightly. Use small pieces of tape to connect the floor of the curved track. Take care that the tape does not touch the rectangular shapes that will become the inner walls. Bend the rectangular shape up until the edges barely touch. Place a small piece of tape on the inside edge where two of these panels touch. Fold the tape over so that it is also securing the inside walls. Okay, we can do this, guys. We can do this. Okay, so flat and then so this is a wide turn, right? So you're going to be gluing / taping or taping these rectangles together that you cut to make a turn. Okay, and they're going to be like overlapping just a little bit. So hold it, and then we are going to overlap these like so. They overlap so that you create a curve. Now this is a wide curve, so it's not super tight, right? It's not super tight. It's not a sharp turn. It's a wide turn. So you're basically going to be connecting, 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 and make sure you don't put tape on where the marble is going to be because that creates too much friction and it will slow it down. Okay. And you want to make sure that your walls are still up. So you want to connect them so the walls are up. So up and over. Glue, glue, glue. And then at the same time, you're realizing that you're curving it in. And make sure that you remember that, okay, this is where my marble is going to travel. All right.